Welcome back here to the 2015 NXL Great Lakes Open. I'm Matty Marshall with Todd Martinez. So we have a great game coming at you right now. Infamous and the Los Angeles Ironmen. Both these teams looking real strong here at this event. And also in this set is the Trent Gun Outlaws and Trenton TopGun Union. So we have a quick little highlight reel here of some of the morning's action while we talk about these games coming up here, Todd. So this first one, who do you think is going to take this one? Obviously Infamous 3-0 and the Ironmen 2-1, but I think the Ironmen have a decent chance of winning this game.
I think the Ironmen have a chance if they play like they played this morning, but, LA Infamous, just so solid right now, when it's going to come down to it. If the Ironmen can't consistently win the break against Infamous and then close out high body situations, then I think Infamous is just going to chop them up because Infamous has the experience, they have the winning know-how, and they have just tons of talent on that team. So
well, they won the last event here, and man, they've been one of those teams that's notoriously inconsistent. Win an event and then just do terrible, and they know that about their how they've done in the past, obviously. So they're trying not to repeat that. Let's check in with Lauren Kelly before we get to this match, though.
20 seconds.
I am standing here with Bobby Aviles of Infamous. Looking at your prelims bracket, this would be your toughest match of the weekend. So before you were moving into this last prelim match, what were some things you guys really discussed focusing on and executing to make sure you get this win?
Well, I think we're playing pretty solid so far. The Ironmen look pretty good as well. They played against X Factor, I think, first match of the tournament and took a hard loss, but they've been tightening up ever since, and I feel we have too. So it should be a pretty good fight, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, we'll see if Infamous can go undefeated in the prelims. Back to you guys.
Looks like Infamous into the snake off the break. Alex Goldman was able to make it in. But Alex made it in alive. Then he got shot out of his bunker, and then Brad McCurley dies right behind him at the same time. That's going to blow open the snake side for the Los Angeles Ironmen. We'll see if the Ironmen can capitalize on that. Ironmen still in the back bunkers, though, doubling up that back center stand-up can. But Infamous down by 2. So it's a 5-body to 3 advantage for the Ironmen right now.
Yeah, Zach Patient over here in the Dorito 1 made it out there on the break. Weinrob really did a good job of shooting him in that Outlaws game earlier, but Zach Patient getting in there now. He's got Callie Rudolph behind him. Anytime Patient can get in there alive, gives Callie a lot of freedom to make moves. Damian Ryan holding off that snake side, getting up there in that center tower, trying to keep the Ironmen from getting into the snake.
Yeah, the Ironmen haven't really done anything with this advantage that they have. Damian Ryan for Infamous, one of the 3 bodies left alive, is now up in the center 50. Right off of the center 50, right behind it, and he's going to now shut down the D side because Ironmen haven't really done anything over here.
Yeah, nobody looking snake side for Infamous, though. Damian keeps looking to the Dorito side. Ironmen had an opportunity to go. They're stacked up in that back center.
You have to, if you create an advantage for yourself, like shoot two awesome players out of the snake in a row, you have to take advantage of that when it's 5-on-3.
Yeah, communication, is the only way you're going to be able to know to make those moves. Ironman right now, Danny Ibarra finally makes a move out on the Dorito side as Callie Rudolph leaves the back center and goes to the snake side tower. Zach Patient comes on the inside, goes to the big Dorito on the inside. Damian Ryan standing over the top, just shooting down on the D side. There's Paxson and Callie Rudolph pushing forward, trying to make a move in the snake, but he gets shot. Cornell and Ibarra over here on the Dorito side for the Ironmen. There's Cornell with Fernandez and Paxson in the 2 back stand-ups. Just 2 bodies left alive for Infamous. Ironman right now just picking off players out of their spots. Paxson in that tall snake tower over there.
Yeah, Ironman not making any crazy aggressive moves again, just playing calm and methodical. Most importantly here in this first one is winning gunfights. Other than Callie, they won, they shot Mouse out of his bunker, they shot Brad McCurley out of his bunker, and then they shot Callie trying to get into the snake. So just holding lanes and winning gunfights right now for Los Angeles Ironmen gives them a big 3-body advantage.
Patient and Ryan crossed up now. Up there, up the field.
Yeah, Damian Ryan, once the Ironmen are able to move up the snake, it's going to be really rough for him. But
I think the Ironmen literally just figured out that Damian Ryan was in the middle. They just had that monster call that Paxson was talking about earlier in the interview with Lauren. And I think that's maybe why they weren't making those moves. I don't know if they knew where the body was.
Did the Ironmen lose a guy on the snake side? Because now Mike's...
I haven't seen him. I mean, I see 4. I don't know. They might have lost their snake eye early. Maybe that's why they didn't make that move. But Paxson.
Looks like Cornell got a shot. Either Mike Paxson or Cornell got a shot on Damien, and then Patient's going to get taken out. He's the last player alive. So nice work by Mike Paxson and the rest of the Ironmen as Brandon Cornell is going to go hit that buzzer.
Yeah, maybe that's why Infamous got so aggressive early over there on that snake side. Not that Brad McCurley and Alex wouldn't have been so aggressive anyway, but maybe that Ironman guy died right away off the snake side on the break.
Yeah, it was tough to tell from here, but it looked like, I mean, it looked to me like Alex got shot head up. I couldn't quite see the angle from where we were looking, and then Brad got shot on, looked like on the snake side, as coming out on that snake side, trying to gunfight on that side. But still, regardless, beautiful point by the Ironman to go up by 1 here early on. So now we're going to reset here. Trademark Gun Outlaws and TopGun Union going to come out here. Outlaws looking for them to play a penalty-free game here. They had less penalties in their first match this morning than they did yesterday. Complete disaster for them yesterday. I think they had something like 17 major penalties in 2 games, which is pretty ridiculous. And I know Coach Jeremy Somm was screaming at his guys in the pits, as well he should be, because Outlaws with the talent to do something in this pro division, but just not able to get together yet.
And there you see the back shot of the Outlaws doubling up that back center.
So Johnson up into the center for the Outlaws right away.
Berkeley and Osborne, the 2 players that have been playing over here on the snake side. There goes Osborne right around snake 1, directly into snake 2, skip snake 2. Looks like he's trying to get straight into the 50.
So the Outlaws looking real good with field position right now.
There's Osborne in the 50, wrapping around. Outlaws also up in the center of the field, shooting underneath the A.
Yeah, but they lose a body over here on the D side, so first strike goes to TopGun. So even though the Outlaws have good field position, one of their guys just lost a gunfight.
Looks like TopGun loses a snake player. Osborne now on his feet, coming on the TopGun side of the field, wrapping around, putting pressure on that back center. You can see that back center, not a whole lot of room back there. Osborne sitting at that pin. If he looks to the inside a little bit more, you can see the player in both big Doritos. There's Chris Shear and Ian Wilson. Wilson recognizes Osborne's field position, starts shooting that way. Mark Johnson is up in the middle for the Outlaws.
Yeah, Wilson's going to have to make a good cross-field shot on Osborne, because Osborne's in great field position right now for the Outlaws on the snake. But it looks like Johnson gets taken out in the center.
Here comes Berkeley to help Osborne, looking for some tips of loaders into the back of the 50 snake.
Yeah, so this is...
There's Weinrob, 14 in the back.
So they did have good field position, but too many bodies dropping right now for the Outlaws. TopGun just needs to start executing here, as they have the numerical superiority. Trying to put their first point on the board.
TopGun, over here really hugging the outsides of their bunkers. Ian Wilson makes a move. There's that post right there for Osborne, just waiting, trying to get a shot in on the back center.
Well, he doesn't have a lot of guys behind him, and here comes TopGun coming down on the D side of the field. So if Osborne can somehow, some way find crossfield shots, it's going to be tough. He almost picks up Wilson, though. That's what he needed to do.
So Wilson with, he's lucky he's tiny, because he is in a tough spot right now here in the 50 wedge. Weinrob really needs to put the pressure on Wilson.
Chris Shear is trying to help out Wilson. Wilson scurries out to get a little bit better field position. Now Wilson's just out in the open, and now he tries to get across and gets chewed up.
Wilson might have been in the best position he had if he'd have stayed in that blind spot, but got a little pressure from the snake side. Here comes Johnson coming at Weinrob as the Outlaws lost both of their snake players. Lance Hardwick able to just stay alive over there.
So a little bit of a frustrating situation for the Outlaws. They had Osborne in incredible field position, way past the 50-yard line on the TopGun side of the field, but too many bodies dropped around him, so he couldn't really do anything with that because he just had to hide so many guns on him. And then eventually TopGun able to whittle it down enough to finish this point off. Solid work by Johnson. Ian Wilson played aggressive over here on the D side till he found himself in a precarious situation. He got shot out. But still, first point. Let's check out this replay. So this was Ian Wilson in the blind area. And he realized, like, I have to move up or I'm going to get shot cross field. And then he ended up getting shot straight ahead.
Here we got the Ironmen coming back right now. There you see Brandon Cornell has been playing really well this event. There's LA Infamous, Templeton, Bornstein, Ryan, Reeser, and Aviles. Bornstein and Reeser double up guns in that back center. Drew Templeton
20 seconds.
takes the extra spins over there on the snake side when Alex Goldman is out, then comes back and plays the Dorito side.
10 seconds.
So there you have Nealon, Hamill, Cornell, Paxson.
So tripling up that back center, Brandon Cornell, Shane Piston, and Mike Paxson, and then Brandon Cornell immediately gets out after the break. Ironman up by 1, 12 minutes and 13 seconds to go.
Ironman losing Nealon on the break, coming out here wide on the Dorito side. There's Damian Ryan on your screen.
In the center of the field for Infamous.
Bobby Aviles out here wide on the Dorito side for Infamous. Anytime he gets out there with some freedom, it's been trouble for the other teams.
Ironman down a body.
Here's that flip side shot over to the Ironman. There you see 2 guns in the back center, 1 in that Dorito side wedge, and 1 in the snake tower. That's Toke Hamill playing back and forth. Reeser bumps out with Ryan into the snake tower for Infamous. Drew Templeton with the outside advantage is going to allow Damian Ryan to creep up the middle into the pin and try and get those sneaky shots that he's good at.
Still 5 bodies alive for Infamous. They've improved their position.
Reeser switches to watch over, takes over that zone on the Dorito side. Drew Templeton looking on the inside. Nobody watching Snake Way right now, allows Toke Hamill to make a bump out, and he gets in, mirrors up, but he gets clipped up, I think, from the opposite side of the field. I think Bornstein picked him up
You can see
from the Dorito wedge.
Drew Templeton really wants to make a move, keeps head checking towards that snake side. Reeser makes a move into the center, realizing that they have a bunch of bodies up, and it looks like the point will be conceded by the Ironman. So nice work, perfect point there by Infamous. Uh-oh, except for that. Looks like a minor penalty, but not gonna matter.
So I wonder what that was for.
Yeah, not
Maybe
sure.
overshooting?
Possibly.
You think Drew Templeton would do something like that?
Drew is definitely not the overshooting type.
No, not at all. Maybe he had a
30 seconds.
maybe he had a little something on him.
Well, let's check out this replay. Maybe we can check it out from here. So there's Templeton in the snake. Looks like I don't see any hits from this
20
angle,
seconds.
and the referee was either I couldn't tell if he was telling him that the point was over and Drew kept shooting, or if he had a hit on from somewhere, but the ref came from
10
his back,
seconds.
from behind him, so
Yeah.
it's not exactly a great angle to see a hit, so I don't necessarily think maybe he had a hit on. Maybe
Well,
it
he
was
didn't-
overshooting.
He didn't point at a hit.
Yeah, Drew Templeton getting an overshooting penalty?
No. Oh, looks like Ian Wilson gets shot on the break. 2 bodies actually walk off for Trenton. 2 guys in the back center, 1 in the Dorito wedge. It's going to get real small in there real quick. But 4 bodies alive for the Outlaws. They lose 1 off the snake side, but quickly attack up the center and get out wide on the snake side to that snake side temple. Top Gun, I think he was actually able to fill out. That's Crover on your screen right there, who filled out to the snake side temple. Yeah, I think the Outlaws were actually able to, Top Gun was able to get out of that back center double and get into the snake side tower. Give themselves a little bit more spacing. Johnson, Shear for Top Gun. There you see the Outlaws. There's Crover trying to call his shot from Snake 2.
Yeah, so now,
Crover getting into the 50. Gonna go to that wedge.
yeah, Corver.
Johnson attacking the Dorito side, but he took one on top of the head to that break.
Corver's got better shots from there, and here comes our on the field Cam, moves it, made in the center, doubling up that center 50, launching past it.
There goes Weinrob up in the middle, wheeling and dealing. Here comes the Outlaws on the attack, and Top Gun is gonna throw in the towel.
Point approved.
So that's going to tie it up here at 1 apiece. Nice work by the Outlaws. Put a point on the board here. And most importantly for the Outlaws, no penalties.
30
So
seconds.
Infamous is going to be starting with 4 bodies right now.
Yeah, so going to be down 1 body off the start of this point because of that Drew Templeton, we believe, overshooting penalty, not exactly sure. But it looks like they have Brad McCurley and Damian Ryan, Kelly
Callie.
Rudolph. So, but yeah, and then now you're looking at the Ironmen on our screen. Toe Camel, Mike Paxson, Brandon Cornell,
10 seconds.
Jerry Caro getting a spin out here for the Ironman, and with Chris Catt. So it looks like Carl's going to be running towards the snake. Let's see how far he goes. Backed up by Toe Camel. So Jerry Caro into the insert bunker, right on the snake side, and then gets his gun up on that lane. Try to control and get that wraparound shot so he can work himself into the snake. Mike Paxson right behind him. Looks like Toe Camel getting shot. So Ironman down a body early here.
Toe Camel, Chris Catt getting shot off the Dorito side, so just 3 bodies left alive for the Ironmen. 2 big losses right there for them. There's Damian Ryan and Brad McCurley over on the snake side for Infamous. There's Caro, heads up in the snake temple. Mike Paxson standing up in that tower. But here's a move right there by Alex Goldman to get into the 50 snake. It's going to be tough for Caro as Goldman shoots Paxson out. Paxson comes walking off. It's just Cornell and Caro. They're crossed up. Going to be tough. Alex Goldman sitting in line again, waiting to make a move. Callie Rudolph over here into the 50 wedge.
Yeah, Callie makes a good move. Trying to take advantage of this high body situation that they have now. No bodies have dropped for Infamous. Ironman with 3 alive. There's Carl still at the insert bunker on the snake side, shooting cross field, trying to get a shot. But, man, it's going to get tough for him if Callie can wrap around here. Yeah, there's Callie wrapping around, and Callie does get that shot cross field. So nice work by Callie Rudolph. And then Damian Ryan up in the center right now. Not looking good for the Ironman here in this point. So let's see if the Ironman, are the Ironman going to concede? I don't think they are. So they're going to make Damian Ryan jog in to hit that buzzer. That's going to give Infamous a 1-point lead here. 2-1 will be the score. And it just came down to those off the break shots. Toe Camel getting shot off the break, and then Chris Catt getting shot pretty much immediately after the break, putting the Ironman in a bad spot.
That's the penalty buster right there. Yeah.
Solid
Shoot 2
work.
dudes on
I
the
know.
break.
Yeah.
Go right back up, 4-on-3. Play to your strengths, man. Infamous, always good at shooting people on the break.
Point approved.
So now we're going to reset here. Have the Outlaws and TopGun Union come out. This game is tied up. And again, let's see what the Outlaws, I want to see them play a game where penalties don't completely kill them. Because they've got penalties every single game they've played. Again, though,
30 seconds.
yesterday way worse than today. So hopefully they can kind of keep this, just keep playing clean, man. Because I want to see how good the Outlaws are. You know, again, a lot of good aggressive players on that team. They have Philly Shredder on the snake side. They got Davidson. Davidson didn't have a bad day yesterday. So we'll see. And they're playing TopGun, who definitely wants to get a win here. So
10 seconds.
just
Yeah,
10 seconds to go before the start of this next point.
I like to see TopGun being aggressive over here, though, on the Dorito side. You know, getting Alvin Johnson out of that little wedge, starting in the back center now. Ian Wilson coming out wide and going into the big Dorito, coming out running and shooting. Looks like Smith goes and does a loop-de-loop, gets up into that center tower, though. Ian Wilson on the attack, coming into the small Dorito, gets picked off, though, trying to get too greedy. Got to take that first one.
I don't know.
Come around.
I don't know. Both times Ian Wilson's got shot the past couple points, he gets up real slow. So I'm hoping that that's just frustration and disappointment making him get up slow.
Yeah.
Or that it's not some sort of injury, because he's one of their key guys.
Yeah, I think he just knows that he forced it on that last one. Yeah, he made the mini Dorito, but then tried to take an extra spot. But Outlaws losing a body as well over on the Dorito side. Davidson, who's been playing well for them, he gets shot and comes off. 4 bodies left alive for TopGun. Smith still up in that middle. Johnson in the back. And making a move into the snake. TopGun gets into snake 1. Outlaws have 2 bodies over there. They jump into snake 1 as well.
Yeah,
Might have gotten picked off on the move, though.
So good position for both teams, snake side, but not so much over here on the D side, Todd. No aggression here is both Ian Wilson, Wilson for TopGun, and Davidson for the Outlaws, the 2 attackers on the D side dead, and no one's filtered out this way. So, and now Outlaws moving a body over this way. I'm sorry, TopGun moving a body out this way.
Yep, Outlaws made it into the snake and then got support behind him into that snake side temple. Their other 2 bodies are in those back towers. Oh, back center took a bouncer for the Outlaws. That's Weinrob again. Just took one from the outside from Chris Scheer, I believe.
So real slow point here after the attackers on the D side are dead. So these teams content to just roll their guns from those back bunkers. A couple moves though over here on the, actually now on the D side for TopGun. So TopGun playing the aggressor. Just little moves though, nothing crazy. They haven't really passed the, you know, those first bunkers. Still in D1, insert bunker right behind that, and you see over in snake 2 for TopGun. So just working those angles. Tied up at 1 apiece here. 9:18 on the clock.
There's the snake attack from the Outlaws.
So TopGun's in snake 2, and you can see there on your screen that the Outlaws are in snake 1. So very similar field position, and both these teams really slow playing this point, Todd. Not wanting to make any mistakes. Both these teams need a win here, so they don't want to be that guy that makes the dumb move that loses the point for their team and then has to get yelled at by their coach. And you see as we panned across, there's the player for TopGun in snake 2. And you also can see a player there in the center of your screen a little bit farther up in the center. So better field position for TopGun Union right now.
That looks like Zach Johnson there in the snake for TopGun. Crover's over there for the Outlaws. Scheer makes a move over here on the Dorito side for TopGun. Michael Smith really just pounding that lane from that center tower to keep the Outlaws from coming any farther down the snake. Johnson gets out of that Dorito wedge and comes in next to Scheer. Johnson's out of paint, so he's going to catch a pod from Scheer. And there goes Johnson. He makes a move, actually finally able to sneak around, gets into that 50. Oh, but he gets shot, and he comes off. So the first one to drop out of that snake going to be TopGun. Weinrob now, you see him making adjustments. He comes back to the Dorito side as Chris Scheer makes another bump up the field.
Yeah,
Weinrob and, you know, the snake really the only ones like kind of looking this way.
So better, even though they're down a body, TopGun better field position here, at least on the D side and in the center. But they have to produce kills from here. And they can look, they're looking for it, searching for those kills. Scheer's coming around, and then you're looking at the line for the Outlaws, now in a snake 2. And then as we pan across, there's the player in the middle for TopGun. Uh-oh, Johnson coming off right here, getting shots. That's probably going to do, though, that looks like the Outlaws throw a body away. So a couple bodies drop in. Johnson walks off for TopGun. Another body walks off for the Outlaws on that snake side. Scheer's still alive over here for TopGun on the D side of the field. TopGun also has Michael Smith in the center, and looks like he might be picking up paint off the ground already. Scheer doesn't look like he has any paint left either. Yeah, I think he has 1 pod. Yeah, 1 pod left.
Smith.
And it looks like, is
retreats to the pin.
Is that Philly Shreds?
Smith over there?
No, Crover. It's Crover for the Outlaws. He doesn't have any paint, so no paint left for a couple of these players out here. Looks like Smith and Scheer both out of paint, and it looks like Corver also out of paint for the Outlaws. So that's going to slow things down even more. 6 minutes and 18 seconds to go. This is the this might be the longest point we've seen all tournament long.
There's the back snake side corner. Watching that wire.
Yeah, we don't even really hear guns shooting anymore. Now it's just 1 shot here, 1 shot there. Looks like a move on the snake side. And yeah, past the 50-yard line, Scheer expends some of his last few balls to put paint over on Corver. And it looks like Smith's going to come out as well. No, Smith's still in. Now, major penalty, though. And Shear's going to launch off that penalty and try to get a shot on the back stand-up temple for the Outlaws.
I think everybody from the Outlaws is going to get pulled on that major, though.
The Outlaws just cannot keep the penalties from coming, man. So very long point here, which is going to go to TopGun. Originally, they were down bodies, so nice solid work. Out of paint, Shear doing a good job to keep his wits about him over here on the D side. Saw that penalty and then closed the game out. Nice work. Let's check in with Lauren.
Thanks, Maddie. I was in the Ironmen pit during that last point. Shane Pastana and Mike Paxton were trying to figure out how they need to adjust play in order to make sure they can tie it up against Infamous. It sounds like they're going to be trying to go wide and send someone to the snake right off the break and stop tripling up in the back center. So we'll see if this aggressive play can get them a point. Back to you.
Well, they have the wheels to do it. They definitely have fast players on that team. And if Infamous is going to get out wide, the Ironmen cannot continue to get stuck in those back spots. So right now, Todd, very close game here between the Ironmen and Los Angeles Infamous. This is kind of what we expected, though.
Yeah, you know, get a little excitement out here. Maybe some back and forth action. See now that the Ironmen are Infamous trying to make a move all the way to the snake on the break. The Ironmen, does he make it in? I think that might have been Caro. Toke gets shot on the break, though, going to the tower.
That's 2 points in a row that Toke Hamels had a rough go of it off the break. He was one of the stars of the team the last event here. Now Vidulich is in the snake, but doesn't have Toke behind him. So let's see if the Ironmen can get a support player to help out. Jason Vidulich into snake 1 for the Ironmen. Infamous with this 1-point lead, 6:42 to go.
Here comes Corey Bornstein on the attack. And there's the inside seam in the Dorito side.
Yeah, and on your screen you can see the 2 players of the Ironmen stuck in that back stand-up can, and it's just Jason Vidulich over here on the snake side. And there goes a move on the D side.
Danny Ibarra getting into that Dorito 1. Getting out wide for the Ironmen. Going to create some space for Al Fernandez to come into that Dorito side wedge. Infamous was able to make it out to the Dorito side corner with Drew Templeton. You know, even though Vidulich made it to the snake on the break, Trevor Reeser immediately went up to that tall tower in the middle and has just been standing there just pounding his bunker, not letting him be effective at all. And there you see Alex Goldman in the snake for Infamous over here. There's Reeser standing up tall, and Drew shooting down on the snake.
Todd Drew Templeton coming over to help out Corey Bornstein for Infamous on the D side. Right now you're looking at Ironman, though, on the snake side. That's who Drew Templeton's trying to shoot at, is Jason Vidulich on the left-hand portion of your screen. And Ironman also able to get that body out of that stand-up, but then he gets taken out. So Ironman now down 2. Here comes Mike Paxton moving across to try to get a better angle on Drew Templeton and Corey Bornstein, but it's looking good for Infamous here. As that was Fernandez, that got shot for the Ironman. So just 3 bodies left alive for the Ironman right now. 7 minutes left to go. It's going to get tough here for Mike Paxton and Ibarra over here on the D side. Not a lot of bodies left for the Ironman to work with to try to tie this game up. Oh, Drew Templeton
gets shot. Ibarra gets picked off too, trying to make his move up the side.
I don't think Ibarra knew where Corey Bornstein was.
Here goes Alex Goldman with the move on the inside, trying to get a shot on Vidulich. Vidulich still in there. Reeser and Goldman working on Vidulich. Paxton turns over to protect Vidulich. The whole side open over here for Corey Bornstein, though.
Yeah, but Corey Bornstein's just been rolling his gun, trying to put paint on Mike Paxton, keep him from head checking towards this D side of the field. And he's probably concerned with Vidulich's angle in Snake 1. Doesn't want to overextend over here with the one body, with a couple body advantage here. Infamous is down by, did lose 1 body as Drew Templeton got shot by Ibarra over here on the D side of the field before Ibarra got shot by Corey Bornstein.
There's Corey on the right side of your screen, Reeser on the left. Both working on the snake in the snake tower. Here comes Reeser up to the middle. Gets into the center A, dodges the ball from Mike Paxton.
Yeah, this is Trevor Reeser's first season with Infamous. Played with Vicious last year, in Vicious taking 4th place overall. And you know, Todd, you got to work with Trevor Reeser. He's a weapon.
Yeah, Trevor Reeser, you know, really stepped up a level, you know, from the previous year. You know, I spent, you know, better part of 2 years with Vicious, and, you know, I knew Reeser had talent, but, you know, he just really put in a lot of time and effort, you know, and just tried to give him as many opportunities as possible with, you know, what he was capable of doing. And, you know, he really just excelled. You know, once you get a little confidence, you know, start believing in yourself, and, you know, you can really do big things. And, you know, Reeser created this opportunity for himself here to get on LA Infamous, and, you know, I hope it's going well for him.
Mike Paxton right now back and forth, getting shots on Alex Goldman and then trying to get over and shoot Corey Bornstein. He's getting pinched out right here. So the Ironmen are going to concede the point with 4:44 left to go. They had 2 players left alive. It was in the Snake, and Mike Paxton, who's pulled off countless low body situations over his long and storied career. But the Ironmen's coach feeling, I think that was probably Shane Pastana that blew the horn, feeling, hey, Infamous is in really good spots. They have the lead. We have to reset to give ourselves the best chance to win, even though that gives them the point. Let's check out this replay.
20 seconds.
So this is our on-the-field cam getting a shot at Ibarra, and you can see Ibarra taking paint as he tried to push up. Yeah, he didn't know where Corey Bornstein was.
No, Corey was just sitting there, chopped him in half.
So now TopGun taking on the Outlaws here. Score 2-1, 5:38 on the clock, and Little Johnson squirrels over towards the Snake. Almost got shot. You could see the paint flying off the dirt right there, but he was able to make it in.
Oh, it's going to be a minor penalty on TopGun. The player that came out to the Dorito side, looks like Ian Wilson, came out to the corner. I think he might have gotten a major. Oh, no, minor penalty. Only pull 1 player.
Ian Wilson struggling here for TopGun in this match.
But TopGun able to get a body up there in the middle.
And
Shear again.
Yeah, Shear again. Playing the aggressor at the 50-yard line in the center, or on the field cam. And now we're looking at the Snake side. And as we pan over, looks like Shear got taken out. So right after we cut away from Shear, he ended up taking one. And now TopGun, Johnson, Zach Johnson scurrying up, crawling past Snake 1 into Snake 2. And then Johnson's going to keep pushing forward past the 50-yard line, or up to the 50-yard line. And then he's going to establish down the sidelines. And then go back inside. So you're going to have to decide whether to stay at that bunker or try to push forward, crawl to the inside of that bunker and get up to that next inset past the 50-yard line. And now the Outlaws making their move past the 50-yard line over here. Is Berkeley on the D side of the field. Looks like he gets a kill, but he's asking for a check. Not sure who shot him. He's asking for a check in his back. He might have caught one from his own team. And it looks like it's not going to matter whether or not Berkeley is hit, because Johnson did get past that 50, and he's going to run in, not need to blow that horn because the towel was already, point was conceded. So TopGun going to go up 2 here against the Outlaws. Score is going to be 3-1.
Yeah, under 4 minutes left to go. You know, decent amount of time. Get back into this, but you know, both these games pretty tight over here. You know, kind of some slower points. Players working out. Check out this replay. There's Chris Shear up in the middle at that A. Catches one in his left knee.
10 seconds.
And then catches a couple more as he taps out. So now we get back into this matchup. Ironmen taking on Infamous. Infamous with a 2-point lead. Pastana and Paxton doubling up. Toe Camel able to stay alive at this point.
Damian Ryan threw the front of his loader off on the break. Had to run, pick it up on the run up to that center. I don't think he was going to go there, but had to go pick up his loader.
Well, he made it up there alive, and now he's
trying to put it back together.
He's doing a little loader surgery, trying to put it back together. Still not, Damian Ryan's gun still not up, still trying to get it together. And the Ironmen improved their position. Up in the center, Mike Paxton. And you're looking at the line for Infamous here, Snake side of the field. 2 bodies shading that side, and there's Damian Ryan still working on his gun. Finally looks like he got it back up and running.
Oh, Damian Ryan got shot right in the top of the head. Not sure from where, but
not a lucky point for Damian Ryan.
No. There's Ibarra, Paxton up in the middle. Shane Pestana in the back center. Toe Camel finally getting out to his spot alive. Playing that tower. There's a shot of Callie Rudolph from on the field. In the back center for Infamous. There you see Paxton and Toke. Brad McCurley right there in the Snake Tower with Drew Templeton to his right in the Snake Temple. Paxton trying to lock off that Snake side. Also keeping an eye over on the Dorito side.
And those are the 4 players for the Ironman on your screen. There's Pestana, Paxton, Ibarra, and Toe Camel. And
I think they got Jerry Caro over there in the Snake Temple as well, in Drew Templeton's mirror. So all 5 bodies alive for the Ironman, but you know, the widest guy again is Ibarra in that wedge on the Dorito side. Under 3 minutes to go now.
yeah,
Infamous nursing a 2-point lead. Not going to give the Ironmen anything. The Ironmen are going to have to come aggressively.
yeah, even though there's a 1-body advantage for the Ironmen, and they've put themselves into positions to start attacking, and Paxton's been looking in that center for a move up to the 50, but hasn't been able to find it yet. Still too much pressure on him, and now Ibarra tries to get out and make something happen, but he gets taken out, so things not looking good for the Ironmen right now. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. And
Drew Templeton gets shot. Brad McCurley tries to fill, and he gets shot on the fill.
Ooh, so
The Ironmen lose 1, but get 2 back pretty quick.
yeah, so this is after that Ibarra death for the Ironman. I think that might have been Mike Paxton who wrapped around and put some paint towards that Snake side. So 2 bodies walking off for Infamous, just 2 left alive for them. Zach Patient gets across here on the D side, and then now here comes the push up the Snake for the Ironman. This is a big, big point for them. They have to score this point to have a chance. Just 2 minutes left.
Yeah, it's Vitalich over there for the Ironmen now in the 50. Wrapping around, shooting at Zach Patient, who had to turn to the inside.
Toe Camel is in the Snake as well, supporting Vitalich. But still not a lot of time. They have to push smart, though. Can't just run into guns. Pestana fills out from that back center. Coming in a little bit closer there on your screen. Trying to put a little bit more pressure on Patient. Again, just 2 players left alive for Infamous right now.
Ironmen need to close this out pretty quick, though, Maddie. We're at the 1:30 mark.
They need to
and
give
they're still
themselves
going to
time.
need to get another point if they're going to tie it up.
So there's Hamill and Vitalich and Mike Paxton hunting in the center. So they're just trying to make sure that they could try to get an angle and not throw the body away. But like you said, Todd, they do not have a lot of time. They eventually are going to have to push forward into the guns. And then they work out Patient and then get that last kill as well. So the Ironmen with a minute left definitely have time, and that presents a situation where look for a hyper-aggressive breakout from the Ironmen with just a minute left here in the next point they're going to play, down by 1. Look for potentially players maybe doubling up the center 50 and maybe trying to take the Snake off the break, or send edgers out wide to just get those inside shots, you know, because that's, you know, Infamous with 5 bodies alive, you know, no penalties at the end of that point there. They're going to be trying to shoot the Ironmen running out wide. They can't let the Ironmen get out wide.
Well, I mean, Infamous has done a really good job of shutting down the Dorito side for the Ironmen so far. You know, that game might have been a different story if Damien didn't lose his loader on the break and have to make a move up the center, you know, to go get it. Still ended up getting there alive, you know, and that's not a bad position to be in up there. But, you know, the Infamous was definitely, you know, trying to hold that point and just keep the Ironmen from coming and burning off a bunch of time. So here we have TopGun on your screen right now. There's Chris Shear, Alvin Johnson, Lance Hardwick going out towards the Dorito side. All the way to the Snake on the break goes the Outlaws. Makes it in.
Outlaws tripling up the back center.
Is that Crover? Looks like Crover coming in straight to the 50. Nope, it's Osborne. Straight into that 50 and instantly starts to tee off on the Dorito side.
That's a big move by Osborne and a risky one, but was able to make it work at least so far. He gets one, and it looks like he gets another. Nice work by Osborne. He's blocking out the guy in front of him with that pin and doing a good job of getting those inside kills. So very quick point right now.
Point approved.
What a great point by Osborne.
Yeah, made it in on the break. Didn't hesitate, went straight to the 50. Knew where his shots were.
So the Outlaw is going to take.
So here comes the line for Infamous. Oh, I think the Ironmen might have taken a timeout. Ironmen haven't come out. Infamous going to turn around and go huddle up in the shade.
So while we have a brief moment here, let's take a look at this replay. So here's TopGun. There's Hardwick. He flinches back, and it's tough when guys get out wide. You saw Osborne made that 50-yard line on the snake side. It's really helpful to have which is why we're seeing teams double and even triple up that stand-up can off the break. But if you don't get out and the other team does get out wide, then that's exactly what happens. We saw Hardwick just could not hide, couldn't get small enough in there. So Ironman on a timeout, and we're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors. Stick with us.
Hi, I'm Denise. I'm from Velocity Paintball Park in San Diego, California. The customer service from Valken is pretty much #1.
Back into this game here. Just a minute left. Ironmen have to push forward, and they didn't come with an aggressive play up the center. They went out wide on the D side, but getting completely decimated. The heavy guns of Infamous towards that way, getting, it looks like, 3 kills, Todd.
Yeah, Infamous just chopping down bodies on the break. Looks like Paxton over there in the back center. And Ironman gonna blow the horn, throw in the towel,
Point approved.
and try and save that last 34 seconds to try and get another 2 points. Just too many Infamous players, too many guns up on the break. Try to get out wide, man. Took that lane to the Dorito 1. Also ran out there to the, looked like he went to the Snake Side Temple. Both outside players just got chopped up.
Yeah, awesome off the break shooting there and picking the right lanes to shoot. If it's a low on time, if you only have a minute left, there's only a couple options the other team has. And particularly on this layout, you have to get out wide if you want to try to have a fast point or run heavy guns up into that center. Ironman choosing to try to head out wide on this D side of the field, but just getting smoked.
Yeah, it's tough, man. You got to have serious wheels to get out to that snake on the break. The people that are making the Dorito on the break over here seem to be taking that deep route and then up a lot more than the people that are going directly at it. But, you know, I've seen players have success with both. You know, this is a tight one here right now. There's Straza and Johnson in the back center, Lackey and Smith along with them. TopGun going to lose their first body, though. I think came out here to the Dorito side, got shot. The Outlaws, 2 guns in the back center. They got 1 in the Dorito wedge, 1 in the snake tower, and Mark Johnson up there in the middle. There's Johnson and Straza still doubled up. Lackey in the snake tower shooting straight ahead. Mark Johnson gets to his feet. Bump out to the snake 1, or to the snake temple for the Outlaws. Bump out to the Dorito 1 for Chris Shear. Oh, I'm sorry. For the Outlaws, Johnson. Johnson takes a bouncer in the pack.
Yeah,
Weinrob fills out behind him. Nope, Johnson's broke. He comes walking off, but Weinrob plays off of Johnson's move.
And actually, the score's wrong there on your screen. It's Outlaws 3, TopGun 2. So right now, 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go here. Time's starting to tick off. And TopGun definitely needing to make something happen here. Looks like Davidson has to scurry back into the back center bunker, but makes it back alive for the Outlaws.
Johnson in control of that snake zone. Weinrob over here controlling the Dorito side. Outlaws make a move, get into the snake though. Come around 1, get right into the 2.
So time's still ticking off, minute and 30 left.
Yep.
There's Berkeley making his move. Oh,
Yeah.
trying to call his crossfield shot there. Did he get it in?
Yeah, he got Johnson in the mini Dorito. There's Crover on your screen in the snake too.
Outlaws.
Line Rob making a move for the Outlaws down the Dorito side. Minute and 15 seconds left.
Yeah, Outlaws fighting for their first victory here at the 2015 Great Lakes Open. And with just a minute left, the way the field position is, it's definitely possible.
Here comes Mark Johnson with the sneak up the middle, looking to come get Smith.
60 seconds.
If nobody's protecting Smith, Johnson will launch. Here he comes. Listens for the gun. Going to come around. Smith gets shot, but Mark sticks him anyway.
So nice move by Mark Johnson up in the center for the Outlaws, and he is going to put another point on the board. A little insurance point here with 41 seconds to go. So nice job by the Outlaws. Going to go up by 2. And starting to look a lot better, Todd, for the Outlaws.
Yeah, good job over there by Berkeley and Crover. You know, also good job by Mark Johnson up in the middle there, locking off that snake side. The Outlaws, you know, they're pretty, you know, they're a lot better when they don't get 14 penalties a game.
I would totally agree with you. Yeah, it's good to see them finally start to play clean so we can actually find out how good they can be. And doing a real good job here against TopGun. They have that lead. So we're going to see the Ironmen, barely any time left for them to try to score 2 points as they conceded that last one, which was pretty much the only chance they had because it's going to be virtually impossible. But it does make it for an entertaining point because now the Ironmen really don't have a shot as far as choices. They have to, you know, look for a guy to run up the center. I mean, they really don't have many options here. So off the break, choosing to go out wide. They send Toe Camel all the way up to the center. Toe Camel dives in, and then off that stun, here comes Brandon Cornell. Toke gets blazed up, and here comes Brandon Cornell. Bodies dropping from the Ironman on the snake side as well. Brandon Cornell, so infamous, just able to shoot those lanes. Ironman running into their guns. Here comes Chris Catt, and
Chris Catt's going to get 2, maybe 3. There goes Alex Goldman down the snake side. Nobody on the snake for the Ironman. Goldman in the 50 snake, turns around and shoots Chris Catt with just 10 seconds left. And Alex Goldman going to run in and not even press the buzzer. Just wait until time runs out. And that's going to do it. Infamous going to take a 4-2 victory over the Ironmen. Check out this replay real quick.
Yeah, so flawless prelims for Los Angeles Infamous. Going to go 4-0. And here's Mike Paxson, who looks like he is going to run right into the gun and get blazed by Caro. And you can see Mike Paxson look back at the referee and be like, did those break? I mean, he shot me 5 times, so one of them must have broke, right?
Yeah, 1.
So congratulations to Los Angeles Infamous. The Ironmen, that puts them 2-2, so we're going to have to see as things progress here whether or not that's going to enable them to progress in this tournament. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be tight here. You know, it's the first time I've really, you know, been a part of this, you know, split deck system. Going to want to see how it's going to go here.
Yeah, some new rules here and new structure to the tournament. So we'll keep you guys updated as things progress throughout the day and who's going to make it into to Sunday.
Ironman, I mean, in this bracket, though, Ironman should be in with 2 wins, you know, because if Infamous goes 4-0.
30 seconds.
I don't know. I got to take a look at it.
Well, we'll keep you guys. Yeah, we'll keep you guys updated and have Todd do the math for you. So right now, Outlaws with the lead up against TopGun. With 45 seconds and a 2-point lead, look for TopGun to do the same thing that the Ironmen just did and try to roll those paintball dice. Off the break here. And break for the Outlaws, conservative, heavy guns up. On the flip side, TopGun all the way, get Johnson up to the center 50, wrapping around, and Ian Wilson. Looks like everyone's alive though, so aggressive moves. Nope, Johnson gets taken out, but he gets an Outlaw before he leaves. And it looks like Ian Wilson's still alive, and here comes a full court press down the snake side and on the D side. Wilson way past the 50-yard line. No one's caught him. Wilson in alive. Wilson's gonna have a chance to win this point. Needs to load some paint up. He does. Looks like he shattered a ball though right away. And now he's rolling crossfield, rolling his gun crossfield. He gets 1. Just 1 player left alive in the back corner bunker. He ends up taking out Wilson. Actually, no, there's still 1 body left alive. Back bunker on the snake side of the field. And that is it. So congratulations to the Outlaws. What a great push by TopGun. Ian Wilson tried to do some damage, but it just wasn't enough. Not enough time. So Outlaws taking their first victory here this tournament, and that's a big moral victory for them as well. proving that they can win games in the professional division. Let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Hey guys, I am standing here with Brad McCurley from Infamous. Congratulations, you guys went undefeated in the prelims, which is great. When you guys came off the field, though, you seem to be having a little bit of a disagreement about that last point. Can you tell us what was going on?
Yeah, there was a couple little things that we came off zone and almost allowed them to fly down this side and break that game open, which is obviously the last thing we want when there's less than 60 seconds left and it's a tight game like that. So it's just those little things that are going to make a really big difference come Sunday. So we just got to tighten up those zones and make sure that if one guy comes off zone, another guy picks it up.
What is the biggest thing off the break when you know a team only has 40 seconds and they want to try to get 2 points? They're going to come down that field fast. So what are the bunkers you are mainly going to run to make sure you can run out that clock?
I mean, those tall spots in the back that everybody seems to like doubling up is a pretty safe bet for you to get a good shot on the break and try to pull off one of their guys trying to get wide. And also they're good spots to lock down. So if we can take those primary spots and lock down the zones, it's going to be pretty tough to break down this field in less than 40 seconds.
All right, well, congratulations. Infamous has been the first team to go undefeated in prelims. Outlaws just got their first win of the weekend, so I'll be talking to them. Stay tuned.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. Well, yeah, man, Infamous definitely looking like the favorite here. Outlaws, again, with that victory. Next up, though, the next set of games coming at you, Upton 187 Crew and San Antonio X Factor. That should be a very good game. 187 Crew is playing some of the best paintball we've ever seen them play. Getting very deep roster across the board for them. So lots of guys contributing. 2-1 is their record so far, and they're going to be taking on X Factor, who's undefeated. They're trying to match Infamous and go 4-0. So here are the standings on your screen right now. Infamous with that big 4-0. And Infamous won the last event, so not much of a surprise, but it's good to see them come and be consistent, because normally they win a tournament and then all of a sudden they have a really terrible tournament in the next one, so it's good to see them start fixing that. Ironmen went 2-2, which is great for the Ironmen, playing really strong right now, so I know that record doesn't necessarily indicate that, but their losses came to some really, really good teams. Ironmen lost X Factor, and then we just saw them lose this game right here. And then Outlaws 1-3 and the TopGun 0-3-1. So things are getting a little bit interesting here. We still have a lot more paintball to come today here, 2015 NXL Great Lakes Open. What do you think about this next game, 187 Crew X Factor?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I was trying to look at the groupings over here, and just looking at those two teams, X Factors. I mean, they had a really solid game last game. Kind of really put it on Revo. But, I mean, Upton 187, they've been playing pretty solid as well. So, I mean, they had a really good one against Moscow Red Legion, who's no slouch. 187, should beat Moscow Red Legion right now with the way they're playing. They did pretty well. I don't know. It's a tough one to call.
Yeah, tough one. Well, let's check in with Lauren before we head to a short break.
Hey guys, I am here with Fred Berkeley. He is clearly a little tired from that match. You guys just won your first match of the weekend, but you did have a tough weekend. What were some things you adjusted to make sure you could get that win here at the Great Lake Open?
Well, first off today, playing penalty-free helped us out a lot. We think when we were playing 5 Alive, we were doing much better and just staying on the field, and our communication was a lot better today, and I mean, we actually got to play paintball today. It seemed like yesterday, just constant penalties, and I mean, we didn't even get to play paintball. So, I mean, when we get out there and we can actually play, we kind of show that we can hang. So, and I want to give a shout out to Cody Mikowski. He's having a child this month. He's not here with us. We all love him. Can't wait to have him back. And
all right, well, you guys fight. You guys prove that you can fight hard out there on the field. So thanks for coming out, and we will see you at the next NXL event. Thank you.
All right, so again, lots more great paintball action coming at you in just a few minutes. So we'll take a quick break, hear from our sponsors. See you in a few.